Hi friend, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a flip through of my 2018 October daily album. This is a concept I originally learned about from Paige Evans, who does an October occasionally album, and I wanted to give it a try because our family super loves the fall season and the Halloween holiday. So for this year, I decided to document in a 4x4 album. And I was using a couple of different collections from that year. One of them was the Pebbles, I think it was called Too Spooky or something like that. I will link whatever supplies I can find that are still around in that description box down below for you guys. So I started the album by stamping the date and the month on the spine, so we have October 2018. And then I chose this gold album because I thought that it kind of gave that October Halloween type feel. I believe this album is a Becky Higgins album that I purchased off of Amazon. If it is still available, I will put it down in the description box for you guys. Then I am going to be using a combination of 4x4 pockets, the 2x2 pockets, and then some inserts that I created myself. One of my favorite things to do in these albums is to use my washi tape to decorate the edges of my pages. This is also a technique that I saw done by Paige Evans. I thought it looked really cute, so I decided to give it a try for my albums as well. So let's go ahead and flip through this booklet. This one, I should say one other thing, that this one is actually not quite a daily album. This was the first one I had ever created, and so I didn't have a story per se for every day, but I tried to fill it with all of the important things from the duration of the month of October. So just so you are aware, this one is not necessarily daily. My next one, 2019, is. So let's go ahead and start flipping. So this first page is just my title page. It's using a combination of papers, stickers from, I believe these were from the Crate Paper, what was that called? Hey Pumpkin line that came out last year. Some stickers from Pebbles, and then this really cute haunted house die cut, which was also from Pebbles. And I love using my Allie Edwards October Stories by the Month chipboard pieces in this album as well. So this year was the year my son was born. He was born right at the end of September. So he was just a tiny little baby. And we actually had to go back to the hospital for him because he was jaundiced. So we took a picture of him in the hospital and thought that it was very much like superhero. Like he was like in a superhero making machine. I don't know. It was something silly. So I decided to include it in this album with a little bit of journaling about going to the hospital. Then my brother-in-law and sister-in-law got married right at the beginning of October. So I have a picture of my sister-in-law in her veil, as well as my daughter at the reception. And I added this chipboard from Tim Holtz that says, "Till death do us part," because, you know, it's a wedding. And then just added a little bit of star trim on the side here. I believe this was from Studio Calico, but I'm not 100% sure on that. That is another thing I really like to do with these little albums, is add some texture into it by decorating the edges of the pages. Then I have the next spread here where I'm doing both a 4x4 and some 2x2 pockets, and this is talking about our backyard. So we had some tomato plants that were growing, so we took some pictures of harvesting harvesting our raspberry bushes, and just a picture of this big tree that's outside as it was changing colors in the beginning of the season. So that is this page. The next one, I am talking about all of the crafts that Izzy and I did throughout the month. So I have a couple pictures of her with the different crafts that we made. This was just a piece of like watercolor paper that she and I did. So she actually painted this. I just cut it into a 3x4 card and then added it in here with some embellishments on top. When I add in these 3x4 cards, I really like to add these little tabs to hold it onto the page, and then use hole reinforcers in order to decorate those little tabs as well. So we have a few more pictures of our crafts. This was one of those little foam houses, like a foam haunted house that we put together. And then down here I have this Halloween button. So these I got as a set of, I think I got 2 sets of buttons from Walmart. And what I did is just cut off the button portion on the back and then use it as an embellishment on my pages. So that worked out really nicely. Next, we went to the park and just had a day playing on all of the equipment there. At this point, I was still at home on maternity leave. So I just packed up Jonah in his stroller and took Izzy to the park for a fun day outside. Again, I've got another little button here so that I had cut the back off of. And it's one of those like googly eye ones. It's super cute with a let's hang out. Next, I'm talking about going to the mall. Back in the days when we could go to the mall. And I have a picture of Izzy in this, like, what are those called when you go and stand behind the prop to take a picture with your head in the middle of it? I don't really know what those are called. But this one was a rainbow unicorn, and Isabella, if you don't know, is obsessed with rainbow and unicorns. So she went behind there and took a picture of herself and her baby giraffe and her whale that she was obsessed with at the time. So this is just a picture of us at the mall having a fun time. The next thing that I am documenting here is a baby shower. This was for one of our cousins, and I just have a picture of me with our cousin who was pregnant at the time, and then a little bit of information about the shower itself. I really loved from this collection all of these butterfly elements that have black on them. I think that those are super cool. Then we are talking about the Halloween party that my daughter's preschool puts on every year. So Erin and I dressed up in addition to Izzy and Jonah. So we all got dressed and went to her Halloween party at her school. So this is a little bit of journaling about that, and then some pictures of her at her school doing activities and with some of her friends. After that party, we went to our local apple orchard and did a corn maze, and we did some, like, they have this really awesome park that we played at. So I've got some pictures of us at the park and at the corn maze, a little bit of journaling, and then a few more pictures from the corn maze itself. Izzy picking out a pumpkin, and then here's her and I in the middle of the corn maze. Erin actually took this picture and it looks super cool. So I've got a couple of different embellishments on here. I love using vellum in my October daily albums, so I stamped Happy Halloween on vellum and added that on this picture. The More Pumpkins Please is again an Allie Edwards chipboard piece. And then I also have a couple of wood veneer on here. So like this one that says Pumpkin Everything, this one that says Say Hello to Fall. Those are from Colorcast Designs, who has some really awesome fall themed wood veneer pieces, and they're super thin. So they work awesome in albums like this where you're trying to keep the bulk down, but you know, it is kind of hard. Then we went to our bowling league. So for the last 4 years, Erin and I have been on a bowling league with our siblings and my parents. This is the first year that we're not doing it because of COVID, but hopefully next year things will be better and we can go back because we definitely miss it. So for this year, we all dressed up as the Scooby-Doo gang. So we've got, Erin was Scooby-Doo, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were Shaggy and Velma. This is an outfit that we have done before for a convention here in Michigan called Youmacon. So we all dressed up as the Scooby-Doo gang for that. So we had our outfits and decided it would be a really fun thing to do. Then I've got a picture of Izzy and her friend from bowling, a little bit of journaling, and then I made this shaker pocket with buttons and sequins. And then this was part of the button pack, which was really cool, this little web. The next page, I've got some pictures of Jonah. So this would have been his 1 month pictures. And I had him dressed up in a Spider-Man onesie because Spider-Man is our favorite. I have this, I'm trying to remember where this was from originally, but this was a stamp, I believe, that I printed out on vellum and fussy cut out to add in here as just a fun element. So it just flips over. It's really cool. And then a close-up picture of Jonah on his mat. Look at how tiny he was, you guys. He's so little there. After that, Izzy and I decided to make some decorations and put some around our house. This is the first time we actually decorated the inside of our house, and we just used things that we made ourselves. So like we made this little banner here that we're sitting under. We've got some pumpkin things and our haunted house from earlier, and it was just fun. So I had Aaron take a picture of us in amongst our decorations. And we also, for the first time, created an ofrenda down in our basement to celebrate Dia de los Muertos, which happens after the Halloween season. It's the 1st and 2nd of November. So I'm talking about getting ready for Halloween and decorating our house. Again, I am using some 3x4 cards, and I just added in a full strip, which I believe is what I end up doing permanently, that I like this better than the tabs, but we'll see as we flip through more of the pages how that panned out. So we've got some more 2x2 pictures. Then on the back, I took the kids to our local like greenhouse or plant nursery, and every year they do a Halloween event there where you can go around and do some coloring pages. They have a photo booth, stuff like that. And it was really fun for the kids. It was the first time I had ever gone. We painted some rocks. And then this was our photo booth picture, which I thought was hilarious. So I'm really glad to have this one in there. So from 2018. We decorated the outside of our house too, so we got some purple and orange lights to put all around our porch, and then carved our pumpkins. I have a picture of our carved pumpkin here with our Candy Collectors Welcome Here sign to let people know to come get their candy from our house. So I talk about carving our pumpkin. Here is Izzy with the pumpkin that we carved. And then this is just a little vellum insert. I printed this pumpkin picture. It's a picture I actually took on vellum, and then added this Happy Halloween sticker and these 3 wood veneer pumpkins from last year's Allie Edwards Stories by the Month October kit. So that turned out really cute. There's a picture of the outside of our house at night with all of the lights on. And then we're moving on to talk about making some sweet treats. So we made some sugar cookies and decorated them with frosting and googly eyes and all the things. So I've got pictures of Izzy making hers, and then here's a plate of the ones that we made with like the piped frosting. And then these are just some fun ones that we made to look like monster faces. This is definitely something that we will do again this year, and that we typically do every year, is make some kind of Halloween cookies. Next, I've got on Halloween itself, our town here does a daytime trick-or-treating around the businesses and in the downtown. So Izzy got dressed up in her costume, and our little neighbor friend got dressed up in his costume, and we just walked through the downtown to do our trick-or-treating together. And then after the trick-or-treating portion, there's a building that you can go to and do all kinds of events at. So they have usually like a creepy crawlies room, and they have a bounce house and like all kinds of fun stuff. So we had a bunch of fun doing that. There's Izzy looking at a tarantula. She loves bugs and she loves spiders. So she was pretty excited to see the tarantula there. She's one brave little girl, that girl. And then we're going to move on to the actual Halloween. So there's one more picture of the 2 of them out and about. And then here is Aaron getting ready to take Izzy out trick-or-treating with the neighbors. I stayed home to hand out candy with Jonah. He was just a month old, so it just made more sense for us to stay home this year. On the back side, so this is another, I believe this was crepe paper. And then I've got a picture of Jonah in his costume handing out candy with me. And then I've got this cute little tag. So this is just decoration, but I had originally gotten this black cat little girl from Pebbles, I believe, because Izzy dressed up as a black cat this year. So I just wanted to make sure to include that in this album. I've got this trick or treat, give me something good to eat card. I believe this was also Allie Edwards. I could be wrong. I actually think I might be wrong because I believe I altered this. So this is probably in a Creative Bubble. But I altered it to include like what were all our costumes that year, what was our favorite candies we got that year, how many houses did we go to, and then all the details of going out trick-or-treating that night. Our neighbors, our friend neighbors, every year they have a tradition of making egg rolls. It's something that I believe I believe the dad, that it's his family's tradition. So we went over to their house to go have some egg rolls, and they were super duper good. This one right here, let's get you over. So this one says Candy Invoice, and I wanted to use this card in conjunction with this photo to talk about the candy haul and the excitement of getting everything out and organizing it and figuring out all of the different candies that Izzy got for the day. And then the last couple of spreads here are talking about Dia de los Muertos. So my husband's family is Mexican, and he did not actually grow up celebrating this holiday, but when we watched the movie Coco, as I'm sure many of you have, and learned more about what the holiday is, we decided that we really wanted to have our children experience that holiday and to celebrate it as a family. So we watched the movie Coco as part of our celebration, and then Izzy and I made Pan de Muerto, which is one of the offerings that you would leave out on your ofrenda. We did that on the 1st, which is technically in Mexico the day that you would honor or celebrate or remember those who passed when they were still children. On the 2nd of November is when you honor or remember those in your life who passed when they were adults. So that's why it is a 2-day holiday. We do not have anybody in our family or in our friend groups that have passed as children. So at this point, we're only celebrating technically on the 2nd, those who we have lost in their adult life. So I've got on the back side, so the first day we typically make all of our goodies, and then the second day is the day that we put everything on the ofrenda and then tell stories about our family to help remember them and keep the spirit of them alive in our family, and especially for our children who have never met some of the family members who have passed. So I have a picture of us in our different costumes. We made some foam crafts. We left out some goodies on our ofrenda, which is right here in our basement. This is just a picture of Dibs that we got him a costume and thought it was hilarious. And then I am finishing the album with a picture of all 4 of us with our costumes on for the day. So this was 2018, so 2 years ago, my very, very first October Daily album, or October album, I guess, because it's not really daily. And I super loved putting this one together. So I decided to continue this. And the next year I have one from 2019 as well. Now, full disclaimer, I actually took all of the pictures and did all of the journaling in 2018 and bought supplies and did all of that. But I actually never put this album together until 2019. So last year I put this album together and the next one that you're going to see in this series. And that is why you're going to see Crate Paper throughout this album in addition to the Pebbles collections, because Crate Paper technically was a 2019 collection. So hopefully that clarifies that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little flip through. I hope it gave you some ideas on different things that you can document throughout the month of October. I am definitely looking forward to doing this project again this year and seeing how we can still find joy and excitement in the season, even though this year is going to be quite different from the other ones. If you have any questions about this album, about the products, about anything, let me know in the comments down below. If you are thinking about doing an October Daily album, I would love to know so I can follow along with your project this year as well. I will be back again with another flip through of my 2019 album. And then once we have that album flipped through, we're going to start actually getting to work on our 2020 album here in the house. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see all of my future crafty videos. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye now.